Good evening everyone, Mike Palmer from Know Your Rights and Success Coaching International, back with another important live video update. To be honest with you, I'm still reeling from our interview on Tuesday night with John McAfee. Like, wow. I mean, here's a guy who worked for NASA. He's worth like $100 million. He knows all the ins and outs of privacy and security on the net. And he chose to share all of that with us and our listeners on our little Know Your Rights show. Honestly, it's still a little bit unbelievable, to be honest. It's quite amazing. Now, if anyone missed that, we will be replaying the whole show again at 11 a.m. this coming Saturday. And that's on the Know Your Rights group website, or also on Rad FM. And for those of you who want to just go straight to the interview right now, we have cut that section out and we've uploaded that to our radio show page. So just knowyourrightsgroup.com.au/radio-show, and you can find the whole interview there. Now, I will warn you, okay, it was pretty intense. John was pretty fired up. He did use some colourful language, so it's not for the faint of heart. But again, I mean, this is a man that has so much information and such important information to share with us that you know, a couple of swear words here and there really should be the least of anybody's problems. And look, that's really what I want to talk about tonight, because we've had a few comments. I mean, some people said, oh my God, that was like the best interview guys have ever done. And other people are like, oh, I couldn't listen to it because he was swearing too much. And listen, seriously, if you're worried about a few swear words, if you think that's bad, you really, honestly, with all due respect, need to seriously open your eyes, because that is absolutely nothing. You need to look at what is really going on in the world. Okay, a perfect example of this is what's going on right now with all of these, especially in the US, you know, the protesters and the looters, you know, everything that's happened as a result of, you know, George Floyd's, you know, death, the black man's death at the hands of a white police officer, and everything that's come out of that. Now, anyone who's, you know, spent even 2 seconds away from the mainstream media and bothered to actually look into what's really going on here, anyone who's actually watched the videos from both angles, okay, and seen what actually went on, anyone who's connected some of the dots, anyone who's realised that, hang on a minute, the people in the US were waking up en masse, realising that this was just a complete scamdemic. They were taking to the streets in, you know, in the masses protesting, and all of a sudden the powers that be, the elite that control all of this madness, were like, whoa, okay, we've got to get people back into fear, we've got to get people back into compliance, we've got to get people, you know, divided again so that we can conquer them. And they created this whole situation around George Floyd's death. Again, just a very cursory look will make it obvious to anyone with half a brain that this is completely manipulated and manufactured. I mean, for crying out loud, they're dropping off massive loads of house bricks on the corners of streets for the looters to go the next day and get hold of them and start destroying stuff. I mean, it is really quite obvious to anyone who wants to take a look. And the problem is, it's not just in the US, because we all think that, you know, people in the US are nuts. Okay, but it's coming right here. It's right here in Australia now. You know, there's been already big protests around the country. You know, Black Lives Matter. You know, stand for George Floyd. You know, Aboriginal deaths in custody. Now, I'm not saying that these aren't, you know, worthy causes and all the rest of it. Of course they are. But, you know, please understand, we are being manipulated. The police have already come out and said, oh, no, look, you know, we're not going to be making any arrests. We're not going to be, you know, issuing any fines. Yet they were doing that for the last 2 or 3 weeks when people took to the streets, okay, to protest the lockdown laws. So, you know, again, it's very clear. If you want to, you know, go out and protest something that's divisive, absolutely, go ahead. You know, yes, of course, they, you know, throw in a little, you know, line about, oh, but, you know, please try and socially distance and be aware that it could cause problems. But, you know, they've already said they're not going to be arresting people. They're not going to be handing out fines. Yet they were doing that when people were, you know, protesting the lockdown laws. It just doesn't add up. And people need to open their eyes and they need to have a look at this stuff. It's very simple. They will accept people doing what they want them to do. As soon as you step out of line, bang, they're going to be right back on top of you. This is all control. This is all manipulation. This is how the media, okay, which are the tool or the arm of the governments, this is how they play with people's lives and manipulate your mind. If you don't see that, you need to seriously have a look, okay? Now, again, this is just the tip of the iceberg. Again, if you think a little bit of swearing from a passionate man who's sharing some important information is an issue, again, you need to look deeper. Okay, you need to look into the child sex trafficking that's going on. You need to look at the pedophilia that is rampant throughout all of those in power. Okay, there's even been reports that our own Prime Minister, Scott Morrison, okay, has been or is involved. Now, I'm not here saying that he is or he isn't. I certainly suggest you have a look, but there's certainly some questions that need to be answered. And this is exactly what John McAfee said on Tuesday night. Question everything. Okay, question everything. And right back at home for us, the simplest place that we can start, okay, is to question those who try to exercise authority over us. Question the police, question the courts, question our members of parliament. Okay, and what is the best way to question these so-called authorities? By writing those freedom of information requests, asking them questions. Okay, now again, if you don't know how to correctly formulate a freedom of information request, please grab our FOI CD. You will see there how to structure those FOIs, and not only that, but you'll see the responses and results that both we and some of our members have had to some extremely powerful questions, and the answers will absolutely blow you away. This is the amazing thing that happens when you start asking questions, but most importantly, you start asking questions in the most effective way, in the right way. Okay, when you ask questions, you're going to learn something, but the better the quality of your questions, the better the quality of the answers that you get and the things that you're going to learn. So that's one point. But again, even simple things, if you get a traffic fine, okay, question that traffic fine. Use the letters that are in this Aussie Speeding Fines book to ask for proof of their claim. Remember, when you get that infringement notice, expiation notice, traffic fine, whatever you want to call it, whatever they call it in your state, okay, it's just a claim. It's a claim that you exceeded the speed limit. It's a claim that you didn't stop at the red light. It's a claim that you were talking on the phone. Okay, great. Okay, but ask the right questions and get them to provide proof of their claim. Okay, there's a simple step-by-step letter process for doing that. Okay, if you get a bank, okay, or a debt collector, okay, who's making a claim that you owe them a debt, again, use the step-by-step letter process in this Bank Secrets book to ask them for proof of that claim. Okay, ask them for the evidence of that claim. Remember, the banks, they just send you out a statement. So what? I make statements all day, every day. Nobody takes any notice. Okay, a statement doesn't mean anything. Where are the invoices? Where's the validation of the debt? A statement is not evidence of a debt. People don't realise this stuff. And of course, there's much, much more in these books. Okay, but again, if you want to go to the next level, if you want to go a step beyond, okay, that, the Aussie Speeding Fines book, the Bank Secrets book, they're great, but they're quite simple, the steps that you need to follow. And look, a lot of people who are just starting out love that. What we try and do with the Know Your Rights book is, again, I've said this on other videos, we're really big believers in give a man a fish and you feed him for a day. Teach him how to fish and you feed him for life. Okay, so we explain all of the information behind all of these questions so you know how to formulate your own letters and how to formulate questions really effectively. Okay, so when you get a letter from somebody, purporting to be from the ATO, you can send them a letter saying, well, please provide me a copy of your authority traceable back to the Commonwealth Constitution. When you walk into a courtroom, you know how to ask a judge or a magistrate to provide a copy of their oath that shows it's traceable back to the Queen of the United Kingdom of Great Britain and Ireland, not this fictitious Queen of Australia. When you get pulled over by the police, you know to ask them, if they are acting as an agent of the Crown, and then, of course, which Crown. All of that sort of stuff is what's explained in that book. So there's just some examples anyway that I wanted to leave you with, just to really get people thinking. Okay, because we need people thinking. We need people looking for solutions. We need people looking for answers. And the absolute best way to do that is, as I said before, to question everything. So as we embark on yet another weekend in just a few days' time, and it's going to be a long weekend this weekend, I urge you, as always, okay, get informed, get fired up, and get proactive. Take action, get your head around this information, and then put it into practice and really use it, understand your rights, and stand up for them. So I wish you all a great and of course, very safe long weekend this weekend, and we will have another special update again on Sunday night at 8:30. Thanks again.